Okay, here we go. I feel compelled to do this, so let's go ahead and do it. So, there's going to be the great sign of Revelation 12 is going to happen September 23rd, 2017. In the book of Revelation, John's sitting there and he sees this lamp coming at him. And then he sees Yeshua coming at him and he goes, "I'm the first, I'm the last." Well, this flaming lamp is the menorah. And if you look at a menorah, each of the 7 candlesticks, it's actually a lamp. People have menorahs with candlesticks in their house, but there's actually the one in the temple is filled with oil. Each of them represent a feast day. And so the first one is Passover. The second one is unleavened bread. The third is first fruits. The fourth is Pentecost. Feast of trumpets. Feast of Atonement, and tabernacles. Now, Yeshua fulfilled the first 4, so those are already lit. So he was the Passover lamb, and he went into the ground, unleavened bread, and he was the first fruits of being brought back from the dead. And then he left on Pentecost and gave the church the Holy Spirit. So 4 of the candles have already been lit. That leaves these 3 to be lit: the Feast of Trumpets, Atonement, and Tabernacles. Now, let's go over some stuff here. So, if you were to look at it this way, there's the feasts are also called the former and the latter rain. Sorry, I got that light right there. Only way. So the 4 are have already been lit. The former rain and the latter rain. Well, in a calendar year, the difference between the end of the former rain and the latter rain is 5 months. 5 is the number of grace. This isn't really numerology. It's called gematria. It's studying biblical numbers, like the number 40. Yeshua was in the desert 40 days. It rained. So anyway, there's numbers that mean things in the Bible. So 5 is the number of grace. 7 is the number of completion, and 3 is the number of the Trinity. So this is the end. September 23rd is going to be the end of the Hebrew year, 5,777. So that could be interpreted as grace perfected. 3 7s and a 5. So it could be the end of the church age and the beginning of the time of tribulation, which I believe is what's coming here. So this is Daniel's 70th week. So the tribulation is going to be 7 years long, 3.5 years, and then the Great Tribulation is 3.5 years long. So, why do I think that? Well, why do I think Daniel's 70th week is coming up? There's too many numbers coming up. So let's look at some of them. So let's go down here. A Jubilee year is 50 years. There's been 120 Jubilee years since Adam fell. There's been 70 Jubilee years since Abraham. And 40 Jubilee years since Jesus walked the earth. Now, how do I know this? Well, let's go down here. So, this is a 15-foot chart of human history. So I'm going to just kind of go over it real fast so where you can count the actual years. So the big one is the 120 from the fall of Adam to present time. So you can actually count them all here. I'm going to go down and I'm actually going to show the entire timeline here. So now we've passed the Noahic flood. I want to bring up something about the flood that may be germane to what's going to happen in a couple of weeks here. Just before the flood started, and we're getting Teruah, the father of Abraham, and there's Abraham, turned his name, turned it Abram. So that was 70 Jubilees. 70 times 50 gets us from Abraham to the present time. So Methuselah was the oldest man recorded in the Bible, and when he died, the flood started. Who is the most well-known Christian on the earth today? I'm going to make the argument that it's actually Billy Graham. Now, Billy Graham, bless his heart, he's 98 years old. Now, he's going to be 99 on, I believe it's November 8th or 9th, one of the two. If he, and here we come up on the crucifixion, so, and it would be 40 Jubilees from this time until the present time. So I'm going to run it down all the way to our current time. So you can actually count the Jubilee years. If Billy Graham, he was sick, he got pneumonia several times a couple of years ago, but he's been pretty healthy since then. If for some reason he dies just before this Feast of Trumpets, you could take that as a sign that he's a type of Methuselah, meaning it's another indication that tribulation is here. So, what is this Revelation 12 sign I'm talking about? Okay, so the Revelation 12 sign in Revelation, it talks about a woman clothed in the sun with the moon at her feet, giving birth to a child, and she has a crown of 12 stars over her head. Well, the woman is Virgo, the virgin, and the moon will be at her feet, which happens, several days out of the year. She'll be giving birth to the child. Now, there's only the only planets that count in prophecy are the ones you can see with the naked eye. So Jupiter is the king planet. So it goes in retrograde once every 89 years in Virgo. So now the moon's only there several times, several days out of the year. Jupiter's only there once every, 89 or 90 years. Obviously, Leo, the lion, is always above her head. But on that day, Mercury, Mars, and Venus will be there too. Now, this is going to be the first time this particular alignment has happened in 7,000 years. And they've had the Solaris software. You can go back and make pictures of the sky however you want to. And there's been people, more than one person. The most famous one on the videos you can get is this guy named Scotty Clark. He's got the best ones about it. So, anyway, Revelation 12 is going to be fulfilled on that day, as far as I can tell. September 23rd of this year, which is today's September 8th. Okay, so that's going to be the start of Daniel's 70th week. What are some other signs that this is the 70th week? Just been going over the internet. There's been a temple of Baal opened in New York City and London. They've actually gotten the Baal arch from Syria. There's all kinds of signs that Satan's loose on the earth. Look up the price of the first Apple computer and just see if I'm right on this. The price of the first Apple computer was $666.66. A couple of years ago, Oklahoma removed the 10 Commandments. They also put up a statue of Satan as the goat of the Mendes. The TV just now pushes LBGT everywhere. Obama basically, lit the White House, with the Rainbow Coalition flag colors all over it. Total degradation of the societies here. Let's go over some economic problems. Now, even as I speak, in about 12 hours, Hurricane Irma is going to make landfall in Florida, and I'm sure it's going to do $100 billion damage, or 80 billion or something. And Harvey hit last week. But let's go over some economic problems that are facing America. We never actually really came out of the 2008 economic problems. Like right now, I've only got 10 listed, but you could probably put 100 on here. So there are 94 million Americans out of the labor force. 43 million of those are living in poverty. And those 43 million are all on food stamps. Almost 1 in 5 in their prime working years, that's 20 to 58, are not working. The past administration put more debt than the rest of the presidents combined. We've lost a quarter of our manufacturing jobs to NAFTA. We've lost 6,000 factories since China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001. The trade deficit is $800 billion. Obamacare premiums have doubled and tripled in some states. Arizona went up 116% just last year. So I'm going to cut this short here. I only got about a minute or two to go. But let's go over what's going to happen now. So this menorah is the timeline. So September 23rd, 2017, Yom Teruah, the Feast of Trumpets, also known as the day that no man knows the hour of, will be this September 23rd. 7 years from then, on Yom Kippur, October 12th, 2024, will be the second coming. And then October 19th to 23rd will be, of 2024, will be Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles, and that'll be when the kingdom gets set up. Keep this Revelation 12 sign in hand. Like I said, it's September 23rd. It's only 2 weeks away. Let's see what happens. I'm out.